My name is Emma Walsh, and I turned 33 in the back room of an East London pub. Blowing out candles my father didn't pay for, he raised a glass, went misty-eyed in front of my aunties, and said, "Couldn't be prouder of you. Em, you've always looked after your old man." People laughed. Someone shouted, "Speech." My cousin whistled. I smiled and did the good daughter wave. Because that's what I do. What nobody at that table knew was that 2 hours earlier, in a branch of Barclays on Mile End Road, I'd sat across from a woman in an navy suit who'd just shown me the last 6 years of my life. Printed in black and white. Every overdraft, every small favor, every just cover me till Friday, love, and at the bottom of the stack, on a crisp statement for an account I hadn't even known existed, was a monthly standing order titled Maintenance Walsh Child Support Payment from my father. Leaving from my account, Quiet Storm Stories is where women who were trained to keep the peace finally tell you how they lit the fuse. If you've ever been the responsible one in a family that runs on secrets, stay with me. This is how I stopped being my father's bookkeeper and found out who he really was. 6 weeks before that birthday, my life was small, decent, busy. I'm a senior administrator in the cardiac unit at St Bartholomew's in London, which means I live my life between clipboards, beeping machines, and consultants who can't find their own staplers. I rent a one-bed flat in Bow, 3rd floor, no lift, a plant on the balcony that refuses to die. I can walk to work if the tube's on strike, which in London is a personality trait, not a contingency plan. My dad, Patrick Walsh, lives 10 minutes away in the same council estate we moved into after Mum left when I was 15. He's 63, had a stroke at 58, and has been managing ever since, which is Irish for barely coping, but very charming about it. My role was never daughter. My job was admin. I set up Dad's direct debits. I called the council when his housing benefit letters confused him. I switched his energy tariffs. I argued with Virgin Media when his benefits got reassessed. I filled in the forms. When he went into hospital, I packed his bag. When he came out, I sorted his prescriptions into one of those plastic pill boxes I buy in bulk from Amazon. He'd ruffle my hair, kiss my cheek, and say the same line every time. "That's what family does, sweetheart." Looking back, I can count the times he said that without asking for anything on one hand. For fingers, to be precise. Here's the bit I'm still a bit ashamed to say. I did everyone else's paperwork and left my own in a pile. My friends have budgeting apps and investment accounts. I have a shoebox. My payslips went in. My P60s went in. My tenancy agreement. My car insurance, everything important lived in a cardboard box under my bed like a time capsule I never meant to open. I knew my sort code off by heart. I did not know my own credit score, because you don't fact-check the man who taught you to cross the road. You just keep turning up with your online banking open, moving his little red numbers into the black dot. It took 6 years to realize that, in the eyes of the system, Patrick Walsh wasn't just my dad, he was my DEP and DANT. It took one bounced rent payment to start the lesson. It happened at the letting agent's office. End of the month, same as always. I'd gone in on my lunch break because their online portal was down. Handed over my debit card, made small talk about the tube. The guy behind the desk ran it. Frowned, ran it again. "Sorry, Ms. Walsh, it's declining." I laughed it off. "That can't be right. I got paid yesterday." We tried my credit card, declined. The backup one, suspected fraud. Call provider, the students with guarantor forms were waiting behind me, shifting their weight. I could feel my neck going hard. I stepped outside, sat on a low wall, and did what I teach new junior doctors to do when the ward goes off like a fire alarm. Slow breath. Look at the numbers. My banking app took an age to load on flaky VG. When it finally did, it showed me something I'd never seen before. My current account overdrawn by nearly £1,500 and a notification. I'd been swiping away for weeks. "Your arranged overdraft limit has changed." I scrolled. Direct debits I didn't recognize. Transfers I didn't remember making. A monthly for £150 going out to something labelled maintenance. I paid the rent with a credit card I hadn't used in a year and walked the 15 minutes back to the hospital with my head full of static. That night, after my shift, I did the thing I tell every patient over 70 to do. I pulled my full credit report. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, the UK Holy Trinity. You know that feeling when you see your Facebook profile picture from 10 years ago and think, who is she? It was like that. But with Debt. There was a Halifax loan I'd never taken. A Capital One credit card with a £3,200 limit and £3,150 used. A store card, a catalogue account, old balances, new balances, everyone with my name at the top like a heading. Addresses, mine. Contact number, mine. Email, mine. And one thing at the bottom I couldn't dismiss as an error. NatWest, current account, joint, open 2018. Account holder. 1. Emma Walsh. Account. Holder 2. Patrick Walsh. I've never, in my life, agreed to a joint account with anyone. But according to the banking system, my father and I had been financially married for 5 years. My hands didn't shake. 12 years in a hospital trained that out of you. I printed every page in the nurse's station, hole punched them on my tea break, and put them in a cheap Smith folder. At the very back, slipped in like it was shy. Sut a PDF icon from the NatWest joint account, mandate. Signed the 14th of March 2018. The date stopped me. The 14th of March 2018, the day of Dad's stroke. I knew where I'd been. Standing in a corridor at the Royal London, listening to a consultant explain left-sided weakness and clot retrieval, I had not been in a branch of NatWest. Cheerfully signing away the rest of my 30s, I sent myself the document and went home. The next morning, my downstairs neighbour, Dave, a retired postman with opinions on everything and a kettle always just boiled, was in the shared hallway tinkering with his bike. Morning. Em, you look like you've swallowed a bad email. He's nosy in the way that's half annoying, half comforting. The kind of man who knocked every Wednesday during lockdown just to see if I was still alive. I nearly told him everything right there in the stairwell. My mouth even opened. Instead, I said, work's a bit much. And he gave me that look older people give you when they know they're being lied to, but decide not to call it, remember. Love, he said, tightening a bolt. Letters don't lie. People do. I made it up to my flat and sat at my little IKEA table with my laptop. NatWest, subject access request. Joint account. The PDF mandate landed in my inbox 2 hours later. I clicked it open. Already rehearsing the argument with the bank that this isn't my signature. This is fraud. What are you going to do about it? Speech. It died on my tongue when I saw my own name. It was my signature. Loops, slant, the little flick I do on the H of Walsh. Perfect. Above it. Type nice and neat. Authority granted to Patrick Walsh to operate the account for day-to-day transactions. Below that, a line for the second account holder. My father's scrawl. And at the very bottom, in a cheery blue stamp, witnessed by S. Carter, Customer Advisor, Mile N Branch. I racked my memory. March 2018, stroke, hospital, forms, Dad's hand not working properly. The clipboard the nurse had passed me. The just sign here, love, so we can process his direct debit for the gas. His to shaky moment. The bit where I skimmed and didn't read because I was tired and scared, and he was my dad. They hadn't brought us a DNA form. They'd brought us a joint account. The mandate timestamp said 1612, for hours after the stroke. While I was still in mascara streak jeans, thinking we might lose him, legally. I'd given him the keys to my wallet at the exact moment. I was terrified I was about to lose him altogether. Grief is bad for admin. For the next week, I did what I do best. I turned my kitchen table into an incident room. I printed. I highlighted. I made columns with a biro I'd stolen from radiology. On the left, date. In the middle, transaction. On the right, whose idea? If I could remember. The pattern wasn't subtle. The first Halifax loan. 3 weeks after he came home from hospital, when he'd cried over how he'd never work again and how the benefits wouldn't touch the sides. I'd said, we'll figure it out. We had. We met me, the Capital One card. Opened the month my little half-sister, Molly, started university. Dad had cried again. Different reason. Can't send her off with nothing. Love. You know what it's like. You can handle the forms. Yeah. That one hurt? At the time, I thought it was noble, selfless, the catalogue account. The Christmas he couldn't stand the idea that there'd be no proper presents. I'd click by now. Pay later while he fell asleep in the chair with the Queen's speech on. Every guilt. Every tear, you're the only one I can rely on. M had a transaction line to match. Like a receipt for my surf sports, I was £17,800 in the red across all of it. I hadn't even noticed the number climb. When you're the family grown up, 100 here, 200 there feels like weather. What I still couldn't place was the monthly maintenance WALSH transfer date. It had started 2 years ago. Same amount, same date. Leaving the joint account. I googled the sort code and account number it went to. Barclays, personal current account. Name, Lucy Walsh. I stared at the screen, saying the name out loud. Lucy Walsh. I don't have a cousin called Lucy. My grandmother's name was Eileen. My mum is Sarah Mackenzie. There is no Lucy in our family tree. Then my brain did a slow, horrible click. Dad had always called my half-sister Marley. Joked that he'd named her after the dog in some old TV show. But her birth certificate, the one Mum had accidentally left on our kitchen table once, said, Marley Louise Walsh. Double quotes, Lucy. Main unknowns. My father had a second child. One I'd met. One I send birthday cards to. And he'd been using my account to pay for her without telling either of us. You can love someone and want to murder them in the same heartbeat. It feels like having flu and food poisoning at once. Dad rang the next day. All cheerfulness. Birthday soon, M. Pub or curry? I'll treat you. I looked at the spreadsheet on my table. Pub's fine, I said. Family only. My voice sounded normal. That frightened me more than anything, at a girl. Oh, and he cleared his throat. Bit cheeky, I know. But could you just cover the gas bill this month? They've mucked the readings up again. I wrote it down on the pad by my kettle instead of answering the question in his voice. I didn't go to the police straight away. If you haven't been raised to distrust your own anger, you might not understand that. I needed a neutral pair of eyes. Someone who deals in numbers, not tears. So I booked an appointment at my bank. Barclays, Thursday morning. I took annual leave, wore my smartest dress, carried my folder like armor. The woman I saw was called Priya, mid-40s, immaculate hair. Expression of someone who has had every version of I have no idea how that loan got there sung at her for 15 years. I showed her the mandate, the joint account, the transfers. I used my calmest voice, the one I reserve for terrified relatives outside operating theatres. I need to know if you can separate us, I said. Me and my father, financially, completely, she read. Asked questions, tapped furiously, then she turned her monitor so I could see. Pointed at a line I hadn't noticed. Security password. Marley 1989. My half-sister's name. My year of birth. Blended neatly into the word he uses for everyone he loves. Priya didn't say oh. She didn't have to. It was written all over her face. Here's what we can do from a banking point of view, she said carefully. We can remove your father's authority on this joint account, but only if we can show he's misusing it. We can support a fraud case, but the police will need you to file it, not us. And I have to ask this, are you safe? I blinked at her. He's not violent. That's not what I asked, she said. Are you safe to go home and challenge him about this? To keep seeing him while this is being sorted? Nobody had ever asked me that. Not about my father. Not in that tone. I looked at the column of outgoings under my name. The answer was no. The Metropolitan Police website has a form for everything. Theft, harassment, fraud. There isn't a special one for my dad has been slowly, financially gutting me while calling me his angel, unfortunately. So I clicked fraud and did my best. The form wanted facts, dates, amounts, account numbers. It didn't want feelings, which is fair. Feelings don't hold up in court. At the bottom was a box. Do you know the suspect? I stared at the cursor for a long time. I clicked yes. I typed Patrick Walsh. My father. A week later, a detective from the Economic Crime Unit in my borough rang my mobile. Detective Sergeant Hannah Collier. Brisk voice. No nonsense. The human equivalent of a tidy kitchen. We met in a tiny interview room above the local station. Fluorescent lighting, broken blind, smell of dust and hand sanitizer. She took my folder. Started at the back. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they read your paperwork. She didn't skim. She didn't touch. She circled dates. Drew arrows. Did you sign this mandate knowing it was a joint account? She asked, tapping the NatWest document. No, I thought it was a direct debit form. For his gas, you were in hospital with him that day. Yes, she nodded. Okay, double quotes next page. Do you recognize these transactions? Some of them, I said. Supermarket, sure. Others, no. Do you live at this second address? She asked, pointing to the correspondent's address on one of the loans. I shook my head. That's his flat. So letters about your debts have been going to his house for 6 years. Yes. She sat back, took her glasses off, and looked at me with an expression I recognized from my own job. The one that says, "This isn't just messy. This is a pattern, Ms. Walsh," she said. "This isn't a case of your dad getting carried away. This is textbook familial financial abuse." The word abuse knocked the air out of my lungs more than the word fraud had. I'd seen abuse, bruises, broken arms, screaming on stairwells. My dad made me tea when I cried. He bought me books for my birthday. He called me my clever girl when I got a promotion. He also quietly welded my bank account to his and used my good credit like a limb. Abuse can sound like. That's what family does, sweetheart. De-escalated out for me. The police could open an investigation. They'd need everything. Bank statements, emails, text messages where dad had promised to pay you back soon. Love. They'd speak to him. To the banks. To my half-sister's mum. Possibly, but the strongest part of the case wasn't what he'd already taken. It was what he was about to do. People like your dad rarely stop voluntarily, she said. They double down. We want to catch that. I told her about the maintenance payments to Walsh, about my half-sister, about my mother, who'd left years before and taken her excellent credit history with her. I told her about my upcoming birthday. How dad was over keen. Let me do it big this year. You deserve it. Family only, proper do. She asked for dates. I gave them. She underlined my birthday. That may be significant, she said. How? She tapped the pile of papers. Because while you're sat in a pub with everyone who loves you, you're the perfect alibi for whoever's down at the bank in your name. I went cold. 2 weeks before my birthday. I cleared out the shoebox under my bed. Birth certificate, passport, P60s, 10 years of P45 South, old tenancy agreements, the folder from the police. All of it went into a new fireproof document bag. I booked a safety deposit box at my local branch. The woman behind the counter handed me the key with a kind of quiet ceremony, bit of peace of mind, she said. More than she knew. Then I did. Something small that felt huge. I took my name off everything. Of dad's I could legally, UNLINK. His gas, his electric, his virgin package, his council tax contact details. I rang, waited on hold, gave long, awkward explanations. My father will need to be contacted directly from now on, I said, over and over. I can't be on his accounts anymore. One woman at EDF sighed in sympathy. They don't have put it on their daughters. Some of them, she muttered. Not quite under her breath. The week of my birthday. Dad started to wobble. Not physically. Administratively. He rang 3 times in 2 days. You'll be there at 7. Yeah. Don't be late. Got a surprise. What kind of surprise? He chuckled. Spoiling my big girl for once, aren't I? He's never spoiled me in his life. Not financially. Emotionally, yes. Stories, affection, dad jokes on speed dial. The words stuck like a fishbone. On the Wednesday 2 days before the pub, my half-sister, Marley, texted me. Dad says we're all going to yours after the party. First I've heard of it. I've got work the next day. He told Mum he needed to pick up some papers with you. Guess that was a lie too. She put a little laughing emoji. The one that means this is fine when it isn't. I stared at the screen. Papers. My flat. He had keys. I'd given him a spare last year in case of emergency. He'd popped in a few times to fix dripping taps. His hands still dexterous enough. The fireproof bag was in my wardrobe, hidden behind my winter coats. But you don't need original documents for everything. Some banks will play ball if you have scans. Enough personal information. A signature that looks right. I changed the barrel on my front door that afternoon. Called a locksmith from Google, watched him work, asked stupid questions to cover how my hands were sweating. New keys all round, he said cheerfully. Whoever had the old ones, they won't get through this. Good, I said. And meant it. The day before my birthday, Dave knocked. Had a strange one earlier. He said. Mug of tea in hand. Bloke in a suit in the hallway, looking at the post boxes. Asked if you lived here. Said he had some documents for you to sign. What did you say? I said, Royal Mail doesn't employ people in neck suits. Mate, so jog on. He sipped his tea, eyeing me. Debt collectors. Something like that, I said. He nodded. You want me to keep an eye out tomorrow night? I'm not much for pubs. I'll be in, please, I said. And, thank you, he shrugged, embarrassed. Someone kept an eye out for my girl once. Feels right to return the favour. DS Collier rang that evening. We've had some interesting responses from the banks, she said. There's an application in progress. Personal loan. £25,000, lender in your name. Details pulled from old paperwork. It's in underwriting, but frozen now because of your report. He doesn't know that. My stomach did a neat little somersault. What was he planning to secure it with? I asked, I don't own a house. That's the clever bit, she said. He wasn't. It's unsecured. High interest, high risk. Based entirely on your previous record of repaying multiple debts because I pay his. Bills because you've proved to every bank in the UK that you're good for it. She said gently. She laid out the plan. They'd flagged the application with the lender's fraud team. It would sit there like a trapdoor with the hinges already sawn through, looking solid right up until someone put weight on it. The loan was set to complete the Monday after my birthday, but only if the lender got the finally signature. They'd email to the address on file, the one my dad controlled, the one that looked like mine, but with a number swapped, something like Emma Walsh 84 versus Emma Walsh for 8. He'd read enough of my emails over my shoulder to know my address. He'd only needed to be almost right. They'll call to chase it, probably Friday, DS Collier said. We'll be present when they do, if we've got him talking. How? I asked. You said your dad's throwing you a birthday party. In a pub? Yeah. Family only, right? She said. Then what we do is simple. We let him throw it. The birthday itself was hard. London in July, sun sitting heavy on brick. I did what I always do on stressful days. I stuck to routine. Shower, toast, tea, texted my friend to confirm cinema on Sunday. Put a wash on. Fed the neighbour's cat. Then I dressed for the part I'd been playing for 33 years. Good daughter, nice dress, mascara, the necklace Dad had bought me for my 21st. The one he still liked to see me wear. Looks classy, that. The pub was one of those half-done-up East End places. Fairy lights around old beams. Weird craft beers alongside Forsters. A function room at the back that smelled of crisps and nostalgia. Dad had gone all out. Buffet, balloons, a banner that said Emma 33. In glitter letters, aunties, uncles, my cousins, my half-sister, Molly, standing awkwardly by the sausage rolls, hands in the pockets of her floral dress. When she saw me, she hugged me hard. Happy birthday, Em, she whispered. You look not fine at all. Actually, later, I said into her hair. I'll explain. Dad appeared with pints. There she is. My girl. He kissed my forehead, held me at arm's length. Look at you. You get more like your mother every year. You know that. He meant it as a compliment. People always do. He clinked his glass against mine as speech. Someone shouted, because families are predictable. He laughed. All right. I'll keep it short. You miserable lot. He cleared his throat. Arms slung round my shoulders. Am here. Well, she's my rock. When your mum went our swift sideways blow, I decided to ignore him. Stepped up. Sorted the bills, sorted me. God knows where I'd be without her. Everything I've got, I've only got because of her, everyone or Ed. My aunties dabbed their eyes. Molly bit her lip. My chest felt hollow, like someone had scooped me out with a spoon, because the sentence was true. Just not in the way they thought. He raised his glass. To Emma, couldn't be prouder. Glasses clinked all around. I lifted mine, met his eyes. Drank. Half an hour later, Dad's phone rang. He fumbled it out of his pocket, peered at the screen. Just gotta take this. Love, he murmured. Won't be a tick. He slipped out through the side door that led to the car park. DS Collier had told me very clearly. Do not follow him. Do not warn him. Your job tonight is to stay visible. I stayed by the buffet and put the sausage rolls on a paper plate. My stomach didn't want. My phone buzzed in my bag. A message from an unknown number. He's outside. We're with him. Stay put, I pictured it. Dad, stepping into the evening light, doing his serious phone voice for the supposed lender. Collier and a plainclothes officer appearing, showing warrant cards. Mr. Walsh, I'm DS Carly with the Metropolitan Police. We're here about that loan in your daughter's name. My half-sister drifted over. He looks weird, she said quietly, glancing towards the door. We could see him through the frosted glass. A hunched figure, shoulders up, phone to his ear, then to darker shapes joining him, gestures, the phone lowered. His hand to his head. I took a breath. You're going to hear some things in the next few weeks, I told Marley, that make you feel like you're going mad. You're not. None of this is your fault. You didn't do anything wrong loving him. She stared at me. Brown eyes, same as his. What's going on? Later, I said. When it's not his party. The door banged open. Dad came back in like someone walking in from a car crash. Face grey, mouth thinning in a way I'd only ever seen when his own father died. Behind him came two people in suits and no smiles. Emma Walsh. The woman said. DS Collier without the phone buffer was sharper in person. Can we speak to you? The room went quiet. The way rooms full of Irish people never do. My Aunt Breda put a hand to her chest. Oh, Jesus. Is it your mum? Is something wrong with your mum? It's nothing like that, I said quickly, because the one instinct I still hadn't kicked was protectiveness. It's about me. Dad swayed where he stood. I am Mr. Walsh, DS Collier said evenly. We've already spoken. You can sit down. He opened his mouth to perform. Thought better of it. Sat. Every eye in that room ping-ponged between us like a crowd at Wimbledon. Double quotes Emma. My Uncle Sean said slowly, what's this about? I looked at my father. This was the moment in every story where the daughter disappears into a hysterical monologue. I could feel that script tugging at me. Cry, yell, explain. Instead, I reached into my bag and took out one piece of paper. Not the whole folder. Just the NatWest mandate. I placed it on the nearest table, smoothed it flat with my hand, and turned it so the nearest person at Breda could read it. This, I said clearly, is a joint account mandate. I signed it in a hospital for hours after Dad's stroke, thinking it was for his gas bill. I tapped my name. This is my signature. That's on me. Then I tapped his. This is his. That part's on him. I slid it down the table. Everything taken from me through that account, for the last 5 years, has been in my name. Every loan, every card, every payment to a child I didn't know about until I read my own statements. Child. Someone echoed. Lucy Walsh, I said. Maintenance, every month. Out of my wages. To support his affair. The word affair hit the room like dropped cutlery. Lena flinched. She was there, arms crossed at the back, cheeks flushed. That's my daughter, she snapped. And you knew about her, Emma. He's always been honest about he wasn't honest about whose pocket he was paying her from. I cut in. You thought he was contributing out of his money. He wasn't. It was mine. She went very still. Aunt Breda picked up the paper, squinted, mouthed lines to herself. When she got to account holder 1, Emma Walsh, her hand went to her mouth again for a different reason. Patty, she said quietly. You didn't. Dad finally spoke. I was going to tell you, he said to me. I was. I swear. Just after I got straight. After I paid some of it back. Which part? I asked. The Halifax loan you took to clear the overdraft you ran up paying for Marley's accommodation? The Capital One card you maxed out for emergencies that turned out to be Sky Sports. The application you put in last month for 25 grand unsecured because you've already used every other trick. How do you? His eyes flicked to DS Collier. She knows. The detective said simply. He looked back at me, furious and pleading all at once. I'm your father. There it was. His oldest, sharpest weapon. Sharper even than tears. I know, I said. And this is the last time you get to use that as a weapon. Marley stepped forward. Is any of this about me? She asked, voice shaking. Because if it is, I'll leave. I won't come round. I'll make it cheaper for you. The 12-year-old in me who'd watched Mum pack a suitcase wanted to scream. None of this is your fault, I said, more fiercely than I meant to. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't open a single account. You didn't fudge anything. That was him. I could see Lena's face crumble, understanding dawning in slow, painful degrees. I'm skint this month, babe, work's dried up text. Every late maintenance payment. Every time she'd pulled extra shifts to cover for him, he'd had a second wallet. Me, Dad, I said, using the word like a formality. The police are here because I filed a fraud report. You've been using my identity and my credit without my informed consent. You've put me in £18,000 of debt for your bills. You tried to put me in $25,000 more. There's a name for that. It's not being a bit naughty with money. It's a crime. He flinched at crime the way some men flinch at cancer. He said. It's me. I changed your nappies. And I changed your dressings, I said. I wiped your chin after your stroke. I would have helped you if you'd asked. You didn't ask. You just took. My Aunt Radar rounded the table and faced him. She loved you more than anyone. Hattie, she said. And you've been robbing her blind while she's been paying your leche. You're a bloody disgrace. He jerked like she'd slapped him. DS Collier stepped in. Mr. Walsh, she said, crisp now. You're going to need a solicitor. You're not under arrest today, but we'll be in touch. Don't discuss this further in front of half of East London. It won't help you. Emma, she added, softer. You don't have to stay. That was the moment the script inside me finally flipped. Dutiful daughters stay. They make tea. They comfort everyone else. I picked up my handbag. Marley caught my sleeve. Are you leaving us? Not you, I said. This, he built on my overdraft. Yeah, her eyes filled. Can I still text you?